Brothers and sisters, by the way, the worst enemy for the sisters not dressing the way that Islam requires them to dress is not non-Muslims, but it is themselves. You are your worst enemy because you are the one who tells yourself, no, I can't. No, I can't. I have to be like everybody else. Conformity. This is the problem we are facing, that we want to conform no matter what the price is. We want to be like everybody else. It once happened with Umar ibn al-Khattab. Have you heard of Umar ibn al-Khattab? Nobody did not hear of Umar ibn al-Khattab. The second Khalifa after Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A delegation from Persia wanted to come and meet the Muslim emperor. To them, the leader of that large state has to be like their leader, has to be a big emperor, like their Kisra. So they wanted to come to Medina and meet him. So when they arrived in Medina, they were looking for the huge palace because they said that must be the place where Umar lives. They looked everywhere in Medina, they didn't find any palaces. They said, where's Umar, your leader? People were busy doing their own chores, so they said, we don't know. We don't know. We don't, until somebody knew exactly where Umar was and what was he doing. So he said, wait where you are. I will go and tell him you are here. He ran to Umar. What was Umar doing? Umar. And you know, lectures can be made about Umar. Umar was holding a bucket with tar and a brush, and he was brushing the diseased skin of the camels that belonged to the treasury of the Muslim nation. He was doing it himself. Umar was doing it himself. So that man came and he was shivering. He said, oh, Amir al-Mu'mineen, there is a delegation from Persia. And he showed that he was scared that they may discover what Umar was doing. So Umar, as I was saying before Aisha prayer to some of the brothers, Umar was a very fiery man. He used to get angry. He got so angry with that brother. He said to him, we came here to teach them, not to learn from them. To teach them. I am doing what I'm doing. If they want, they can come and see me while I'm doing this. That's how confident Muslims should be. So I say to my brothers and sisters, please, and I will elaborate on this tomorrow evening, inshallah, on our da'wah. The best da'wah we can do is to live as Muslims, according to Islam, according to our Quran and Sunnah, and never be embarrassed. Brothers and sisters, I have to tell you, when I went to dental school, when we used to go to change our clothes and put on our clinic gowns, in the beginning, we used to find strange things. I was in a class of 120 students. 41 of them were Jewish. And some of them were Orthodox Jews. And they wear something under their clothes, a piece of cloth with 4 threads or groups of threads emanating from that piece of cloth, representing the 4 corners of the earth. They wear it under their clothes. Some of them you can see it even coming from under their shirts. They used to do it from day one. No embarrassment. They had the yarmulke on. Did they feel embarrassed about it? 30 or 40 years ago, Jews were persecuted. So they used to hide their identity, and they used to do something that I warn my brothers and sisters not to do. They wanted to cover up their identity, so they went as far as changing their own names, as we are finding some of the Muslims doing nowadays. Someone's name is Muhammad, he becomes Mike. Adnan becomes Ed. They don't want anybody to know that they are Muslims. And even if something happens, they try to conceal their identity in total. Don't do what the Jews did, because many of them lost their identity, but the few who kept it without feeling embarrassed about it. They walk with their yarmulke on. But I was the only Muslim in that class who was careful not to lose my identity in that sea of non-Muslims. So from day one, we had basins to use for washing. They saw me taking my socks off and my shoes and then lifting my feet, and many of them came and they said, but you didn't use your feet to treat the patients, to wash them. Why are you washing your feet? I said, no, I am doing my wudu, ablution, in preparation for my prayer. And then I asked the dean for a place to pray, and he couldn't find it immediately. So I used to pray in any corner of the school that I find. Brothers and sisters, the result was, when I was in 4th year dentistry, we had a special masjid at the Faculty of Dentistry, University of Toronto. And there were between 10 and 12 students who now felt that they could uncover their Islamic identity, and we used to pray Zuhr and Asr and sometimes Maghrib there before we go home. And everyone showed respect, because there's nothing to be embarrassed about if you are a Muslim. You should be very proud of your identity. Brothers and sisters, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created men and women for each to do his or her own function, it's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows and we know not, as he told us in the Quran, وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Be careful about this.